Hi there, this is Jonathan Ginsberg, and I want to talk to you today about getting garnished wages back after you file Chapter 13 bankruptcy. And the situation would be where you have had your wages garnished for 1 or 2 or 3 pay periods. We end up filing Chapter 13 to stop the wage garnishment. What about the money that's already been seized? Well, there's a pretty good chance I can get it back. And again, usually I'm able to get that back voluntarily. I contact the judgment creditor and they release the funds back to us. Sometimes I have to file a complaint for turnover to get the money back. But what happens is, a lot of times what the judgment creditor is going to want to do is they're going to want to send that money to the trustee. They're not going to want to give it back to you. So big picture, it's a lot easier to prevent wages from getting garnished than it is to get the money back. If you have the wages have already been garnished, I can get them back, but there's a lot of steps I got to go through. And again, sometimes lenders or sometimes judgment creditors will be cooperative, sometimes they won't, sometimes they're going to want to send it to the trustee, and then it starts to become a much more complicated problem to get the funds back in your hands. So again, better to prevent it than to try to undo it. It can be undone, but you might have to show what you need it for and why this is causing a hardship. It may require additional court appearances. And obviously, if you're without the money for 4 or 6 weeks, that could be a real hardship if you've got to buy food and pay your bills. You need that money for that purpose. So I would strongly advise you that if you get a whiff at all that your wages are going to be threatened, that there's a judgment coming against you, that your employer's getting notice that there's a garnishment pending, get on the phone, call me, call a bankruptcy lawyer, and let's get this stopped before we have to try to undo it. Again, a lot easier to prevent than it is to undo. That's a general rule in bankruptcy. And again, what my goal is to give you the most benefit out of the bankruptcy protection that you can get, so that we have no surprises and that you don't suffer. Because again, bankruptcy is difficult enough without having to try to live for weeks or months without wages, without your vehicle, things like that. Let's prevent those problems as opposed to trying to fix them after they've already happened. Hope this has been helpful. Again, I'm Jonathan Ginsberg. Any questions about Chapter 13 or any other form of bankruptcy, please let me know.